Hey, welcome to another edition of Breaking Into Cybersecurity, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern here, live on LinkedIn, as well as live on YouTube. If you're joining us from YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button down there. That way you get notified next time we come live. If you're following us after the fact on podcast, don't forget to subscribe, give us 5 stars, and then share with all your friends and family. Today, we have Kayze. Did I pronounce that right?
Kayze, yeah.
Kayze. I should have done that before. And she has a really interesting background. She started in the military doing logistics, then she became a nurse, and then now she's here in cybersecurity. So we're going to follow her across her entire journey and learn some tips and tricks from her. So let's start about your military career. What got you into first the military and or logistics? What aspect of that did you like?
So I did my first year of college and I decided that it actually wasn't for me. So from there, I was actually in a business program. And so from there, I actually joined the military. I wanted to be a medic, but they didn't have enough slots. So from there, I basically asked the recruiter, I was like, hey, so I'm going to business school. What would be the most applicable thing? And
Mhm.
he's like, logistics. And I was like, okay. So this is when I was young, when I was like 18. And so I was in logistics for 7 years in the Army, basically warehouse, which is a SSA. And so a lot of people think that logistics is supply. It is not supply. Supply is more unit focused, and
Mhm.
logistics is like it can support various units. So I was in
Okay.
logistics and yeah, so basically issuing items, equipment, stuff like that. And then from there, I actually got out and I went into the corporate world and I did supply chain project management for a while. And like for me, it was fun. And I knew what I was doing, but at the same time, a big thing for me is that I like to help others. So in that role specifically, I wasn't fulfilling that, I guess, that need.
Mhm.
So I actually applied for PT school originally because in the Army I was very fit. And so I thought, okay, we'll go the PT route. So I got into a school, but after doing all my hours, I realized that it wasn't necessarily the type of medical care that I wanted to do. And so then that's when I transitioned into nursing. And it was kind of crazy because before I even applied for the school that I wanted to get into, it was just one school too. Um, I moved there and I was just like, okay, if this is meant to be, it's meant to be. If not, then I'll probably go an EMT route. So I applied, and the way that I got into the school, like got it paid for and stuff, was through the VA.
Mhm.
So literally, my appointment and the day that I had to say that I'm gonna commit to this school was the same day. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I was like, admissions people, please, I have this meeting. If I can get into this VA program, then like everything's paid for. So I went to the meeting. I had all the paperwork laid out for my counselor and was like, "Hey, look, this is what I want to do. I crossed all my T's, I dotted all my I's. It's ready to go. I just need you to sign the packet." And he's like, "Of course. Like I'm not going to stop you." And so then I got it and I literally called my counselor and I was crying. I was like, "This is happening." So then my nursing school was actually an accelerated program. So it's 18 months, and then after that graduated, I passed my NCLEX, which is the nursing licensure
Mhm.
exam. And then from there I applied to um, it's called um, I forgot what it's called, the Star RN program. There you go. It's basically a 2-year apprenticeship, kind of like what I'm in. And so um, uh, I went to the one hospital that I wanted to go to. I literally took a picture of me in with the building background. I was like, "This is gonna happen," and and it happened. So that
I
was
see a
super
trend here.
exciting. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I like to. I guess I'm really um a big supporter of like manifesting what you want. So that's kind of how I view life. And so I got there. I started initially on a med surge neuro floor. So
Hmm.
that's like strokes and mental health patients and med surge. And then from there, I knew I wanted to be in the ER. So it's not really common, but for me, um, I actually was able to transition after 6 months into the ER, which is unspeakable. Usually you need 2 years of experience. And so I went to the ER and I loved it. And then just a couple of personal things happened and I quit. And I quit like right before COVID. And like it was like 1 month away. And so to me, I kind of felt like that was a blessing. And so from there, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And so I always was interested in cybersecurity, but I never knew how to get there. So I did lots of research and so most of it was pen testing, right? That's what you see. That's what you think when you think about cybersecurity. And I was thinking, well, okay, I guess let's do this pen testing thing.
Hmm.
Um, and so again, I went back to the VA to see if I could either get certs or like a college degree. And so, um, luckily, I was accepted into getting a college degree instead of a certification program. And so that's how I got into WGU. And so this is like the real start of my journey. So I started at WGU in November of 2020.
Hmm.
And so I had like no clue what I was doing, to be honest. And so like my I was deciding between the bachelor's and the master's, and so my thinking of doing the bachelor's, which is what I'm in, was because I have no idea what I was doing, and so I
Hmm.
wanted a concrete foundation. So I went through all their foundation classes, and then I did the A plus, Net plus, Sec plus, and I just like progressed from there. And so um, I was trying to apply for entry level jobs, and I was just getting rejection, rejection, rejection. It was hard.
Hmm.
Um, so I posted on LinkedIn, like I think it was 100 jobs, over 100 jobs, like 60 instant rejections, and then from that time span, from like November to like May,
Hmm.
I had 5 interviews, and so
Wow.
yeah, that was two. That was I think it was 2 full-time or no, 2 internships, 1 or 2, full-time, and then it was the apprenticeship. And so, um, I didn't get the internships. I got the 2, full-time jobs, and then, I was waiting for the the whole apprenticeship. And so, I kind of told the 2 jobs. I was like, sorry, there's like, a position that I feel like I would be better suited for. And so at this time, it was the engagement period with Smooth
Mhm.
Stack. And so there was no guarantee that you were in. So that I think that was 3 weeks. And it was like a security plus and a network plus, or no, a security plus and a Linux. I think. Yeah. And so I passed. And so then I got the offer. And then from there, we had a couple of months of training.
Well,
And then,
before we jump into that, I want to
okay.
touch on some of your transitions. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so first of all, out of the military, um, then you went into the corporate world. You transitioned into the corporate world, and you did logistics.
hmm
And how long did you do that for before you decided that it wasn't fulfilling enough?
3 years.
3 years. Wow, that's
Yeah.
quite so. It's quite a long time. Then you decided that you want to give back more. So you went to nursing school,
hmm
and then how long did you work for as a nurse?
About 2 years.
Wow. So like another long, like
Yeah.
starting a good career. Because you made it to the ER. That's amazing. Like I know my mom's a nurse, and the ER is a very busy place, and they
Oh, yeah.
don't often let inexperienced people there. So
Exactly.
that you had confidence, you had your ability to jump in both legs forward, and to pick up things really quickly. So then now you did your WGU. What were some of the foundational classes that you got from that program that you felt like you still wanted to do another apprenticeship versus going for that full-time role? Like most people might say, well, I would rather a full-time role than an apprenticeship where I it may or may not be paid depending on how it's structured. So like why was your reasoning to go the smooth stack apprenticeship route?
So the big reason was, well, this apprenticeship was specifically, um, I guess it was from WESIS, and it was the Veterans Female Apprenticeship Program. So, um, like just any veteran community right there, and females together. I felt like that would be a good place to start, just because veterans and females, we all pretty much had the same challenges through any career. So I felt like immediately I would fit in, and that's what happened. We are such a tight knit group. So that was one of the biggest factors. The second reason was because of the training, and as well as the placement with employers.
Mhm.
So, like, in apprenticeships, you're not always guaranteed placement with an employer. So that was a huge part for me as far as choosing this specific apprenticeship.
And then why not choose one of the two offers that you got? I mean, you seem to be extremely successful in anything you try at. Here you have two full-time offers and this apprenticeship offer. Like, how did you make that decision?
So I guess the biggest determining factor was the role that I have now is remote,
Hmm.
and I don't really live near anything. So that's like the big determining factor. And the places that I would have to go are over an hour away. So
Mm.
the commute time would be pretty rough. And
Hmm.
so, like, those were great positions, but at the same time I don't think I would be able to manage the commute, work, and school.
Oh yeah, because you're still going on with your bachelor's.
Yeah.
How much longer do you still have on that?
So I am currently 75% done. My goal is to finish in 18 months too. I felt like that's um like a timeline in which I can fulfill, and it's not too stressful. But just starting a new job, I'm kind of like I have some room. I have some wiggle room because like, that's my time constraint. There's no actual time constraint except for the VA, which they're giving me until 2023, but I plan on finishing that way before then.
But you had already finished a bachelor's before that, right, for your nursing?
Oh, I actually finished 2. So I
Oh,
have a
okay.
a business degree and a nursing degree, yeah.
Oh, so well, I know one of the things that we often see with individuals trying to break in the community is that they don't have a college degree and or a college degree that's focused on cybersecurity. And I think that's a misnomer. Like if you have a business degree, if you have a nursing degree, like it's most of the times the ATS system that really cares about that degree, unless you're in a really competitive environment where you're looking to get someone from a specific school. The fact that you completed a degree at all, like, okay, it's that passion, it's that hunger that it you've clearly demonstrated in all your transitions and being able to pick up everything so quickly. So let's talk about like the smooth stack program. What were what made that different than say going to a boot camp or another training?
So, I would say that the training was very focused in, would say, what is relevant in a cybersecurity industry now. So I can't really say what the curriculum is of other apprenticeships, but
Hmm.
I feel like um, they were even able to adjust based on various employers that were potentially going to hire us. So just their ability to adapt and and I guess structure things the way that our potential role would be. So I don't know, I can't say that, but about other ones. And
Hmm.
the other thing is just, I just love the support. Like, I can't say this enough, but just the support of the group. Like, we are just so tight knit, and it's just amazing. Like, you can ask any of the other females, and they would attest to the same thing. And um, yeah, I think that was it.
Well, let's talk about what that thing you just mentioned, and they tailored the program to what several of the hiring companies are looking for. I mean, that alone is extremely interesting for anyone that's looking to get a role, because now you're getting the tactical skills that you're going to use in your next role, because those employers help configure that program, help change that program to meet their needs.
Mhm.
Um, what were some of the types of companies, you don't have to say the names, that came and helped tailor the program, that maybe you felt like, wow, this is really cool that these companies are helping to configure those programs?
So, without saying the companies,
You don't, you can, or you don't have to, it's up to you.
um, so, hmm. So overall, the program, so the way it's structured, they definitely do give you foundation. So they want you to have Net Plus. We went through Security Plus, Linux, scripting, um, and just a bunch of other things like uh, a brief overview of AWS, Docker, Kubernetes, stuff like that. And then so I would, based on the key companies, they too were part of the what type of training would be implemented. So definitely, like, any company would ask for a security plus, right? And so, like, based on some of my other friends' roles, they had to learn, let's say, I don't know, AWS, or based on whatever they're doing. And some other people had more proprietary systems, so obviously their training would be more in-house as opposed to in our apprenticeship. So
Hmm.
it just really depends, but for sure. Just like the same way I chose WGU because of those certifications.
Okay. I mean, that's a that's definitely one of the things to consider when you're looking to move up the ladder. But it sounds like you might have also been doing stuff yourself. What stuff do you do on your own to feed that hunger for cybersecurity?
Oh, definitely. So even before, like, starting anything, any school or anything, I was in Try Hack Me. Like, even in events, I was doing CTFs. So even when with WeSys, I competed in the CTF, but I was like, darn, I'm not gonna make the top 10 because I used a hint. I was like, I can't figure this out, but I don't want to click on the hint, and I was on it for like a couple of hours.
Hmm.
And so I was like, darn it. But yeah, I was doing CTFs, and I guess one of the biggest things that helped me determine, like, the route I wanted to take was because I attended a bunch of online events. So
Hmm.
I was part of like SANS events, DFER events, Red Team events, because I didn't know what I wanted to do in the beginning. And
Hmm.
so I wanted to see what these different roles were about. And so definitely, if somebody doesn't know what they want to do, I would definitely attend events. And networking is huge too. Just like informational interviews, or just reading what people post. That helps too.
Wow. I mean, one of the challenges that I often have when individuals reach out, they come to me with like a generic question, like, how do I break into cybersecurity? But you have been doing your own career discovery by going to the events, by trying different things, and by networking. When you say networking, what are some of the approaches that you used?
So my first approach was kind of a shotgun, to be honest. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was completely new to networking and LinkedIn, and so I had no idea. So then I actually joined a mentorship group, And so I had a mentor, and she kind of directed me. And then from there she's like, yeah, you can just reach out to people and create your own mentors. And so for me, I specifically focus on the veteran community because veteran, and all veterans are pretty much open to help you. That's
Mm,
just like in our DNA. So I went on Veterati, and I just looked at people who were in various companies that I wanted to be a part of, and I talked to them about their experience to breaking into cybersecurity, like their job, and just I just asked a bunch of questions, and that helped me a lot too. And just participating in, so one of the ones that I participate is called uh, the Key event, and that's
mhm.
also a veteran ran event. And so from there, I actually made a lot of friends, a lot of mentors from there. So that's how I did it. But like, there's so many ways to do it.
I love it that you admit it was a shotgun approach, because I often feel like there's individuals that reach out and then they never engage. They never talk back. They never share anything interesting. And I mean, I know one of the things that I do when someone connects is I give a little intro to me, because they're just meeting me for the first time. And it's amazing how many times you don't even get any response. Like, what made you want to connect in the first place? But sometimes shy, right? You seem
Yeah.
like you're very outgoing. So
Oh
I
no,
don't.
I'm actually really shy.
You're shy? You're really? And
Oh yeah.
that's funny. Um, so let's talk about now that you've finished your apprenticeship, what do you do to keep up with it? Like, how do you keep abreast of everything that's happening?
So right now in my transition phase into the apprenticeship to a position, it's kind of a little chaotic, to be honest. It's just a lot of things going on. And on top of that is school. So obviously, like for me, number one is my job. So making sure that I'm top of everything, making sure that I'm completing the tasks that I need to complete. And as far as the apprenticeship right now, because I'm done with it, it's more of the work side. So there's not much that needs to be done on the apprenticeship side.
Mhm.
Um, and then of course on top of that is school. To be honest, I've been slacking a little, but it's okay. It's WGU, so it's self-paced. So that's
Okay.
that's why I like it. Yeah.
So how do you progress in that self-paced environment for those that might be interested in it?
So for me, I just so it's kind of funny because even though I have all these degrees, I don't actually like school. So I like when I had my business degree, I went to a brick and mortar structured, semester school, and I did
Mhm.
not like it at all because like depending on the subject, like I wanted to just, get out of it. I just want to do all the work, get out. And so this type of structure, as far as like WGU, very flexible, self-paced, um, I like it because if I just want to blaze through a course in a day, cool, I'm done. If
Mhm.
I need a little bit more time, like for instance, Network Plus, I needed more time, then cool, you know. But yeah, I just like for me, I set a goal, a realistic goal, and I just finished my class then.
I love it. Goal setting. There you go.
Yeah.
Set that goal and work towards it. I think that's the other thing that individuals might not do. Like on a job hunt, if you're not currently working, that's your full-time job. So
Hmm.
set goals of meeting so many people, doing so many informational interviews, going to so many virtual conferences. Sometimes it's filling out X number of applications. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the only way to get to certain companies. But um, using that networking approach will definitely help you bypass some of those gates and things like that. Um, so one of the things that you also mentioned was you leaned heavily on the veteran community with that built-in rapport that you have. What are some outside of Key and Vitora? What are some of the other resources that you found that have been helpful in your journey?
So I heavily used the VA. Um, So specifically the VRE program, which is they changed the name, but it's I believe Veteran Rehabilitation and Employment.
Mhm.
And so it's for specific individuals. Not sure if they changed the requirements, but it's 20% or above disabled veterans. And so um, for me specifically, I actually use them twice. It varies on a case by case scenario, but I use them for nursing school and for this program, cybersecurity program. And so they also assist in employment. So that's the whole point. They want to get you back into um, the workforce. So they help a lot with their resources. Um, and then other veteran resources, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a lot of other resources that are connected. It's like Work for Warriors. There's just a bunch of them. I can't remember right now.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah,
Speaking of one of those events right now, Boots to Books is
there you go.
hosting a virtual career fair right now, and you can go over to that at bootstobooks.vfairs.com, and I'll share the link in the comments for those that are interested. They're gonna host similar events like this in the future if you're interested, so pay attention to them. They also help Boots to Books helps a lot with resources for those that are transitioning and you might need access to a course or books, as the name implies, but they do a lot more, so check them out. So we're approaching the end, and if I were to ask you, how would you summarize your entire journey into one piece of sage advice to give to someone following in your footsteps? What would that be?
Oh man, I would say follow your passion. It doesn't matter how old you are. Just go for it.
Nice, I love it. And having that passion is definitely helpful, especially in security or in the ER, because sometimes you'll be doing a lot of things, you'll be burning the candle on both ends, but you want to make sure that this is something that you love doing. Otherwise, any money is not going to be worth it, and you'll end up burning out. So everyone, thank you very much. Follow Kayze, follow myself on LinkedIn. Subscribe if you're viewing us on YouTube, hit that notification button, and then share this with other veterans, whether that's YouTube or on your favorite podcast platform. That way everyone can see her amazing story and follow it themselves. Thank you